Hey guys, how you doing? So today's video, as you can guess, is what is good nutrition? Well, good nutrition is going to be different for lots of people depending on which camp you're in, okay? So you could be a no-carb camp, which would suggest good nutrition to those people are going to be meats and fats and vegetables. You could be in the no-fat camp, which would mean carbohydrates and protein. You could be in plant-based only, which means, or vegetarian, which means that only vegetarian foods are good nutrition. Or you could do something not quite so extreme. And if you're somebody that doesn't fit into any of those categories, okay, you're going to probably find that the balance or a balanced diet is the best, or that is good nutrition, okay? So, I wouldn't know the percent of the population eat normally, okay, and in this day and age, what's normal, but good nutrition for you to get results with not only weight loss, okay, it's not just about losing body fat. It's to maintain a healthy immune system, to maintain muscle mass, to maintain brain function, hormone regulation, all those things. You need a balanced diet, and a balanced diet is carbohydrates in your diet. It is meats in your diet. It is dairy in your diet. It is eggs in your diet. It is nuts and seeds, and it's basically eating a whole variety of food. We're not designed to eat the same things day in, day out, okay? And lots of us in this day and age, and in the Western world particularly, we're really undernourished. And it was a stat I read a little while back when I did a presentation before, was that in New Zealand anyway, when you get over the age of about 50 or 60, 50% of the population are undernourished, and it's because they don't get good nutrition. And good nutrition isn't as difficult as people make it out, okay? So I've done a couple of videos on MyFitnessPal, which I'm going to log below, and that's very, and that's really, really good for hitting, macronutrients, getting your calories in check, because we're not very good, or people are not very good at eating mindfully, which means that, we can really overeat really, really quickly without even thinking about it. Just because if you have a buffet, we overeat. Studies done, millions of them, and we all overeat. We overeat if we're around lots of friends, and you're at barbecues and things. You tend to massively overeat just because you're talking and eating, and social situations. That's fine. So I've got a really good way for you guys, okay, to get good nutrition for 80-90% of the time. So like I said, to me, it's about balance. It's about having a good combination of proteins, fats, and carbs, and that's just what foods are made out of anyway. And it's getting the right proportions right. It needs to be sustainable. It needs to be sustainable for you, okay? Because if it isn't something you can do long term, that isn't good nutrition. If you're on a juice diet for 3 weeks and you lose a bunch of weight, or if you're on potato diet, which I mentioned before, and you lose a bit of weight, that isn't good nutrition, okay? Nowhere near. If it's not something that you can do for long periods of time to keep you healthy and keep you energized and everything functioning properly, it isn't good nutrition. And if you're really looking for that quick fix, you really need to come away from that I need to lose weight right now mentality, and take a different kind of approach, because ultimately the long-term happiness and your mental state, okay, is going to drive you crazy. Otherwise, is going to come down to this. Also needs to be easily adjusted. So you need to be able to do something for a bit of time and easily adjust it depending on what your goals are and what the results you're getting. So if you're if say you take on a way of eating and you put a bit of weight on, you need to be able to know how to adjust it to bring it back down again, bring it all back in line. And it needs to be easy to implement. And realistically, the only way you can do that is by measuring stuff. There's no doubt about it, okay? And I'm going to show you a really easy way to measure some stuff. So the first macronutrient I'm going to go through is protein. Gotta love my drawings, guys, they're pretty good. So protein, I've talked about this before, protein is really, really important, okay? There's the amino acids in protein that you can't get from any other way. Your body doesn't make them, you can only get it from the diet. Yes, you can get it from plant proteins, but you don't get it in the right amount of quantity, and it becomes very, very complicated. So this is pretty much something that we all do. Or most of us eat meat, okay? Most of us don't eat enough protein. And obviously in protein you get your amino acids, okay? You get iron from protein as well as plants, but you get iron from protein as well, which is really good. Helps with building muscle, maintaining muscle speed and your metabolism. I've talked about the thermic effect of feeding before, and protein. So when I say you need to measure stuff, you don't always have to have a weighing scales. You don't always have to have all that sort of stuff to do it. You can actually do it with your hands, alright? And this is a really good foolproof way to make sure that you're pretty much eating the right amount of quantities in every meal, regardless of where you are. You go out for dinner, you can do this. You have dinner at home, you can do this. You can do it anywhere, which is absolutely zero excuses, okay? So that's going to be a good old mix, okay? So if you're looking at a protein portion, we're all different sizes, alright? That's why this works really well. So my hand was obviously bigger than my wife's hand maybe, so I'd eat a little bit more than she does. And if you're a bigger person, your hand's bigger, therefore you eat a bit more. And what's really cool about your hand, alright, is that, you know, our body's in proportion, okay? So let's for example say, your fist is the same size as your heart, your thumb is the same size as your heart as well. We're all in proportion, and what's really good about this is that, you know, if you use your hand, you're going to be getting enough food in your body, because that is what we're built that way, and it works. It's a really good individualized measuring process. So protein, this could be chicken, could be beef, fish, poultry, meat. You know, it could be meat. It's just a protein source. So when you are preparing your dinner, you can visualize your plate. So you have your plate, you look at it and you go, and when you close your fingers down, so what we're going to do is it's going to be the sort of internal part of the hand there, okay, and roughly about the same thickness, okay. So if it's a really thin piece of ham that big isn't going to cut it. It needs to be the same sort of thickness. That would be a protein source for you. That's going to be what you need to do on at least probably 3 meals a day. So it could be breakfast, lunch and dinner, let's say. If you do that, you probably be getting the right amount of protein, okay, when you bring in the vegetables and the other stuff that goes with it. Really good to do, okay. You can do it anyway, like I said. So on your plate, bit of protein. So if you usually have chicken for dinner, and you might have, like, you know, a little bit, make sure the portion you have is the same size as your hand, and you'll be good to go. So carbohydrates. Carbs are not your enemy, okay? Too much food is your enemy. So therefore you can have some carbohydrates in your diet, okay? And if you get your good old mitt again and you make a cup, okay, and you fill that up, carbohydrates, pasta, rice, bread. If you were to roll it up into a ball, it'd be about that much, okay? Crackers, whatever, carbs, okay? Bread, rice, potato, pasta. You can have that, and you have that roughly what quantity is on your plate to go. So now you've got your protein source, handful, carb source, okay, on your plate, nice and balanced. So obviously you're going to get your protein, so you're looking at complex carbs, okay, so you know, you're looking more towards your sort of wholemeal breads and rices and pasta, lots of fibre, all those sorts of things. Although it wouldn't really hurt that much if you had white pasta, white bread, okay, but not all the time. You really want to be going for the wholemeal type versions. Next one, veggies. If you can see that. Veggies really important, okay? Full of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, you name it, has in it. Fiber. You really need to have vegetables in your diet, and if you're not, you know, you really need to start implementing some veggies. And yes, okay, people find they don't like them, think they're bland. Find a way, guys, just to implement them into your diet. Find new ways of cooking them and everything else. Fist, okay? This is your fist. This is a fistful size of vegetables on your plate. Go for 2 if you even need to, if you're going to find yourself being a bit hungry, right? But you're looking at, you know, spinach, kale, broccoli, peppers, carrots, sprouts. You know what vegetables are. You need 2 fistfuls of vegetables on your plate. People say carrots and parsnips, then they've got lots of carbs in. They haven't. Don't worry about it. If you do make your plates in this sort of way, with your portions this side, you're going to get a really good balanced nutrition. And it's going to be really good for you guys, alright? Okay, so now we're on to fats, okay? Put your digits up in front of you, fat. This could be olive oil, this could be peanut butter, this could be nuts, it could be any kind of fat, butter, margarine, whatever, you name it. That is how much fat you're going to get in. Look for fats with omega-3s in. Omega-3s you get from fish, you get from nuts and seeds. Really good source of fat needed in our diet. As I explained before, it helps with absorption of vitamins and minerals, alright? This is a brilliant thing for when you're looking for snacks, some nuts, portion size nuts in your goes. If you're going to cook a stir fry, oil, thumb size in your goes, make a stir fry, getting your good fats in. Really easy to do, and it's all from your hand, okay? And like I said, you know, if you start to implement this into a daily routine, and structure your meals this way, weight loss is never going to be a problem, weight gain is never going to be a problem. Again, the whole range of nutrients is never going to be a problem, and you're going to feel like a different person, okay? So now, how does all this fit together? I'm going to show you right now. So first thing you can do, you can use your hand again. You're going to find yourself a plate that's roughly your hand span, okay? Simple, it goes on like that. That's pretty about right for me. Massive plates, try and avoid them. Smaller plates better. The food looks more, you feel like you're eating more food. Then you're going to get all your food, okay? Or get them all, what I would do, get them all kind of raw on a plate. And structure your dinner. It's going to be, say you're going to have chicken, we're going to have some potatoes, and we're going to have some vegetables. Brilliant. Then you cook it all up, and then you put on your plate. It doesn't matter what you do with it when you cook it up. It just means that the portion sizes are right before you cook it. And then it's easier to sort of manage, okay? If you go to, like, if you have a share meals at a thing, it's really hard, really easy to overeat, okay? Do it for portion size. So this would be for 2 people, and double everything. Double everything, treble everything, quadruple everything to get the meals you need. Put it all together. Alright? So the next thing I'm going to say is that, oh yeah, that's really difficult, but what if I have, I had a question this week, what if I have something like cottage pie? No worries. You still got your portion, you still got your meat portions in the form of mince. The fat, I wouldn't add any fat to it because there's lots of fat in mince. You're going to have your vegetables that go with it, whether it's broccoli or whatever else, and you've got your carbohydrate, which is the mashed potato on top. That is how you do it. Then you create the meal with what you've got. And if you do this, you'll never go far wrong. You'll never overeat, and you're never going to be caught short and never wonder. If you find that you're putting weight on and you can't do anything about it, then you look to cut something. And what you're going to cut back on is slightly, maybe a little bit of carbs. You cut back a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, just to get things moving again. And it's really, really easy to adjust, okay? It could be that, your snacks could be a little bit too much. You pull back on snacks a little bit. Whatever it is, you're going to be able to manage it. And this is a real foolproof way of doing that. So that's pretty much it. Good nutrition, all about balance, guys. Tip it too far one way, you're going to be unhappy, alright? You want to have a nice sort of balance of all the foods. Therefore, you're never going to be starving, you're never going to be overweight, and you're never going to be lack of energy and everything else, alright? If you liked the video, guys, give me a like and a share and a thumbs up. Really, really appreciate it. Subscribe if you like. And like I said, start fresh. If you don't do something different, how will tomorrow, if you don't do something now, how will tomorrow be any different? Cheers, guys.